Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wonderfully Hopeless podcast. It is May 12th, and it is 5:30 in the morning, bright and early. So I have another week and a half left of school. So I think everybody, students, teachers, will be happy when we're done with this year. Come on. So, yeah, I've got that going on. But since I get to work from home on Wednesdays and do virtual classes, I took the opportunity to go ahead and film a video today. I know it's been a few weeks since I filmed a video, so I figured I would go ahead and get one done this morning before classes since I have the time. And I have a lot of crafting progress for a change. I have been crafting up a storm. Well, primarily knitting up a storm, but I have gotten some cross stitch done. Um, I really haven't gotten any of my other. I pulled out my um, crochet, but I'm not going to get that out today to show it to you. So, yeah, it has been a while. It has been busy. Like I said, we're wrapping up the school year, which is always a busy, frustrating, stressful time. This year was a little sad, so I started teaching 4 years ago, and all the students that I started teaching 4 years ago graduate on Sunday or Saturday. So that's kind of sad, and actually they're calling for rain, so I really have my fingers crossed that it doesn't rain, because if it rains all weekend, then we're not gonna have the graduation, the big graduation ceremony. So fingers crossed that the kids get to walk the stage. I mean, they're gonna get to walk the stage either way, but we're gonna have to do it differently if we have to move it indoors. So fingers crossed that the rain holds off and they move it out of the forecast. So, but there's that. But it was definitely a very different end of the year. I mean, it's better than last year's. I at least get to see my students this year. So, but it's different, and I'm definitely ready to get back to normal. So, and I know that the students are definitely ready to be back to normal. But what can you do? And you know, I'm hoping to be able to teach AP next year. So I have AP training this summer. So I'm really excited about that. Um, so yeah, I have babysitting detailed this weekend, more than likely. So that'll probably derail a lot of my crafting time. Although if it rains and we're stuck in the house, I'm gonna have plenty of crafting time while they play. Because I'll have to keep an eye on them. So, because it's a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, she's almost 8 now, and a 14-year-old. My 14-year-old plays video games with my husband. It'll be the first time the 5-year-old stays overnight at Aunt Charity's house, so that'll be different. But the younger two love Legos, so we'll pull out the Legos, and then we have Xbox games that are more appropriate for their age. You can't, all three of them don't play so well together, too big of an age difference, but the younger two love Legos and building blocks, so we have those. I wish I had some Lincoln logs. That would be awesome to let them. I'm going to have to look for some Lincoln logs. I'll have to see if I can find some at the yard sales this year, because that would be a great toy. So I typically ban their tablets for most of their visit and then make them play with, toys and each other and do things. So, but we try and do lots of fun stuff. So I'm, looking forward to it. I love spending time with them and doing stuff with them. So it'd be nicer if the weather was not raining so we can go outside and do stuff, because we live just a couple blocks from the park and stuff. But anyway, so all that's been going on. It's just been a really busy, stressful year. 2020 wasn't great. 2021 has started to settle down, but it was a pretty rocky start to the year. So, yeah. All right, crafting. I have some finishes. And I don't know. Oh, I already put the socks up. Hold on a second. So I don't remember if I showed these last time or not, so I figure I'll just go ahead and show them. So I finished a pair of Rose City rollers for my sister-in-law. So those are done. And then I've finished and I have blocked, but I have not weaved in the ends to hug shot. I quite enjoyed working on this one. I would hope if I showed you the right side. Ah! There we go. So it was fun. I made some mistakes, but that's all right. I need to weave in the ends and get it put up with the rest of my shells, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So what have I been working on? I have had a few new starts. A few. So, yeah. So I've taken to carrying around my knitting in baskets. I have, this was the one I started with last year. And then I found a old-fashioned picnic basket. And it is sitting at my feet with my new starts, or with my projects. So let's start with the first one. So it's living in my Yoga Froggy bag. I made a few of these for my friends. I am working on the Barnstable. So let me pull up Knit Companion. Because, yeah. So the Barnstable. A little harder to show on the iPads, I know. So that's what I'm working on. And you can see all that detail in there. So my lovely friend gave me this kit because she couldn't work with the alpaca. So I am working on the garter section. And I'm getting close. I've got almost 80 stitches on the needle, and you have to get to 108 before you can start the next part. So I am slowly but surely getting there. And let me just move my progress keeper. I have learned through the years, move progress keeper after you show the project. Otherwise, you'll never remember where you were at. So, and my progress keepers are a new acquisition. So this one is, I know it loves to focus on the face instead of the, so it's a Nightmare Before Christmas one. I got a bunch of those. All right. So that was awesome. I am enjoying that one. I'm stitching with my friend Corey, who gave me the kit. She is, of course, because she always is done before me, already at the next part, waiting for me to catch up. I'm getting there. All right, the next one is Raspberry Cordial by Casa Pinka. And so there's it. And this is where I'm at with it. All the tails. So I am knitting this with, this yarn, which is another Crafty Girl. And I'm pretty sure this person is no longer dying. And the colorway is New Friends and Happy Tears. So there's that one. And then you need 2 minis. So this is my Queen City yarn in Passion, and it's sparkly. And I use this for my Goldfish Memories shawl, and I had some leftovers, so I thought this would be beautiful because it's supposed to be like a field of flowers. And then this is a Leading Men Fiber Arts, and it's Carnival is the colorway. And I thought these were those 2 colors would make spectacular bands of flowers. And then the greeny blue is the grass and sky representation, in my mind anyway. So I've been working on that. And again, my progress keeper. I've been thoroughly enjoying this one. I started it, I got it to the first band. I'm almost to the second band of flowers. But I have a few starts because I finished a bunch of projects, and I like to have different levels of projects, and I like to goad my friends into starting new projects. Maybe a little bit. They're not as crazy as I am, but that's all right. And then, so I pulled out the one row crescent that I was working on because it just wasn't working for me. And so I frogged that, and then I decided I really wanted to use the yarn because I love the yarn. The yarn is gorgeous. So I picked out a Helen Stewart. I am doing Pebble Beach. So this is Pebble Beach. And it was in one of the shawl societies. I don't remember which one. At this point, whenever she puts out a shawl society, I just pick it up because, well, I love her patterns. And I love the way they're written. I think her patterns are nice, but it's the way they're written that I enjoy more. So I might enjoy it. I enjoy doing a Casa Pinka, but I love, if everybody wrote their patterns the way Helen Stewart's patterns are, I'd be in heaven because it's so much easier to keep track of where you're at and what you're doing. But anyway, so here is where I'm at. And it's all curled up right now, but it doesn't look like much of anything because it's not blocked, but hey, that's where we're at. And this yarn, where's the tag, is Apple Fiber Studios. It's one of the yarns I got on when I was at Cape Cod. And the colorway is Dreaming of Hawaii. So it is living in the project bag that I got while I was at Cape Cod. That's a place I wish I could go back to. Not this year, for sure. So, oh, move the Progress Keeper, Charity. Move the Progress Keeper. I am halfway done. How far did I get? I am just past halfway done. I am on the last page of the pattern, so that is super exciting. Now, I had this in a spot for a reason, so I would remember if I was knitting or purling. Oh well, I'll put it on the side, and if I need to move it, I'll move it. The hazards of podcasting. Alright, so there's that. What else is in my bag of wonders? Alright. I'm just randomly pulling them out. They're not in any particular order at this point. That's doing too much at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're almost to 6. So I've been working on a pair of socks for my husband. And I finished the first one. So finished the first one. And I am on the toe of the second one. So I should have these finished relatively quickly when I go back to working on them. I got a little distracted with the new starts and my cross stitch project, and trying to get the barn stable to where it needs to be. It's a day. Okay, if I were actually to sit down, I can finish the sock in a day with the cuff, heel, and toe. I rarely sit down and just do a sock all day. My friend might have that kind of patience, but I have a serious case of crafter ADHD, and I can't sit still that long. So, no. The yarn is all knit picks. I don't remember which colorway. I think this is Punch Bug. I'm pretty sure this was Punch Bug. So, and then the gray is a Knit Picks fingering weight yarn that I'm using for the cuff, heels, and toes. So there's that one. Once I finish this, I'm going to do a pair of socks for myself and then do another pair for him. He is loving handmade socks. And the fact that I now don't have to make them gray or black or some other dark color means I make him a lot more socks. It also helps that I have my sock machine. The sock machine cannot be underrated. And I 3D printed my own sock machine and put it together. And I'm so proud of that. Don't get me wrong. But when I was watching Steve on Dramatic Knits, and he was saying they were gonna they were thinking about stocking a 3D printed sock machine. Now their shop is about a half an hour from where I work. So while it's not local, it's local enough. I'm like, might be making a trip over there this summer if they get that in. Just to see. I mean, I love the fact that I did my own, but I know several people have been working on refining the 3D sock machine, that's the 3D printed sock machine, and making it a little better than just the open source files. And while I'm techie and I like doing some of that stuff, the designing of the patterns for 3D printing stuff is not something that I have tackled, nor do I really want to tackle. So I've been watching the designer who produced my spinning wheel, the Nano. He actually just put out a bigger spinning e-spinner that I'm seriously tempted by, but I'm not spending on my Nano enough to warrant buying another e-spinner right now. So, I mean, I enjoy spinning, but I have a lot of hobbies, and I have 2 large puppies right now and a new house that I'm doing a lot of work on. I just don't need another spinning wheel right now as much as I enjoy it. We'll see after the summer, because it's usually when I settle back into a craft routine. And if next school year isn't crazy and I keep a somewhat normal craft routine, maybe. But right now, no. I have knitting needles I'm drooling over too. So, you know, I gotta watch that craft budget. If only money grew on trees. Because there's a lot of crafting stuff I want. But anyway, I digress. And I do have to finish the podcast before school. I got some time. But that's besides the point. So, I have made some progress on the cowl for my husband. Again, this isn't a super priority because it's May. And he's not going to need it until, probably knowing him, January. He runs warm, so he doesn't wear a lot of this stuff until it gets cold. So, cowl. It's just the sockhead cowl to go with the sockhead hat I made him. As you can see, I've made about an inch of progress. So I went from having an inch done to having about 2 inches done. Maybe 3 of the cowl, of the ribbing. So, this is travel knitting. I just need something mindless. This is a good contender when the kids are here because it's easy to pick up and put down, so are socks. So socks and cowls get more attention when the kidlets are here because it's easier. Alright. The last project in the bag is a long-term project. So I've been meaning to start this for 2 years now. I did the Cake of Awesome, which has a stitch marker in it. Has several. Let's just get these out of here. I had to switch the stitch markers because these just weren't working for me. And I need to get them out of the bag. Alright, so I made the big awesome cowl. So these were scraps that I have put together, and most of this is from my One Rose subscription. So I would make the square for my granny square blanket, and then the rest would go into this. And then some of it is from different projects. After I put it in the blanket, I put the rest into this big ball or cake. So I had that already, and I've got a whole bunch more leftovers from projects that there's enough here that this is a square and smaller stuff. So I had a big bag of that. So I started the outline. So this is by Hedgehog Fibers. It's by, I can't pronounce their name, and I'm not going to try because I slaughter names bad enough. But this is the page. It's a 2-row repeat, so it's super easy. And I've doubled the size. So instead of 4 repeats, I have 8 repeats on here. And so I cast it on, and I have yarn all tangled up in this thing. It's always fun. So I've cast it on, and the first color I'm doing is this one. And if I remember correctly, this is a Baja Manhattan, maybe? Baja Manhattan. Anyway, it's an MCN. So this is dreamy. And so I'm trying to get, I think there's about an inch there, and I want probably closer to 3 inches to have a nice good start before I start the big cake. And then my plan is to just every so often grab one of the other colors that I have a lot of to put in a wider band of color. So you have varying sizes of the bands, you have varying colors. So it's a scrappy project. It's one that, you know, it's 2-row repeat. I've put in stitch markers so I can just fly through, and I know exactly what to do at each marker. So it's super simple. So there's that one. That I just do on the floor. All right. The last thing that is knitting related. So I have been working on designing my own shawl. Now this came about like 4 or 5 years ago. I was just learning to knit, and I need to put that back. I don't remember what project that was in. I think it was in that one. Anyway, I was just learning to knit, and at the time, I couldn't really afford a lot of yarn, and I couldn't afford a ton of patterns. So I had wanted to do a shawl that would be good for patriotic holidays and the summer. So I had seen a couple patterns and I didn't really like any of them. And at the time, I wasn't super good at envisioning other color schemes on different patterns. I stayed with the same color families that I saw in the patterns or in the projects that other people had done. So I have since gotten much more creative with my colors. But anyway, I decided I wanted something, and I was going to do something on my own. So this is what my swatchy piece. This is just, because at the time I was using loops and thread. I hate this yarn. That's why this is not further than it is it's loops and thread. And it's irritating. However, after not doing too much on this for several years, I decided I hate this yarn. I don't want to work with this yarn. But I really like the idea of the pattern. A nice, light shawl that's also patriotic. So I'm like, all right, I need to figure this out. So I decided I was going to use this to try a few things out because I have some ideas in my head and what I want. So this has become my swatch. So I visualize things better if it's in the shape I want. So I'm working on the shape and I'm trying to decide how I want my stripes. That's where I'm at right now. But to kind of keep me going and inspired, I'm like, all right, I need better yarn. What am I actually going to work on this project with? Because this irritates me. So what I've just found, I went to Knit Picks because their yarn is affordable. And this may end up being horrible. I don't think so, but it might. You never know. And I don't want to spend a ton of money on yarn for a project that I'm designing myself. So I went to Knit Picks and I got, so there's my blue, and this is Delphinium, and it's the Hawthorn, and it's kettle dyed. So I like the tonal and the variegation in the tone. So there's my blue. And here's my red. This is a little darker than I wanted. Now my husband says this is great. He loves it. I'm not 100% sure I love it, but I love red, so I can live with it. And this is Volcano. And again, kettle dyed. So there's my red and my white, or my red and my blue. For my white, I want a little different. So this is a speckle, and it is tie-dye speckle. And I wanted this to do double duty. So it represents the white and the red, white, and blue, but it also is going to be fireworks. So I am working on a stitch, a textured, probably going to be, I'm working on some sort of stitch pattern that's going to give me something that reminds me of fireworks. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this, as I've been playing with this for 5 years, but I've taken it a step up. I'm hoping having pretty yarn, and this really inspired the fireworks thing, will get me more motivated. So I need to get this caked up, but I got to figure out the stripe pattern that I want for the first part so that I can work on the firework pattern for the next part. And, you know, so yeah. So that leads me to acquisitions, and obviously acquisitions. The next thing, I've had these on multiple projects throughout the day, or that I've been showing up. These are the progress keepers. These are the 3 that aren't currently on projects. So I got these Nightmare Before Christmas stitch markers from that Etsy store. And I love them. They are awesome. They are well done. And yes, been really enjoying these. I have them on like all my projects right now. Love these. I bought some other stitch markers, but I haven't used them yet. And then I was enabled, and I went, or my friend Corey sent me a link to this, and I had to get it. There was just no ifs, ands, or buts. I had to get it. So this is from Always Be Kind Yarn on Etsy. And it is a sock set, and it's Jack and Sally. So you have Sally, you have Jack, and you have a mini for the cuffs, heels, and toes. And you have a Jack's progress, or a stitch marker. So that's awesome. So super cool. I will obviously just cake this up, and run it through my sock machine, and I can get 2 pairs of socks out of this, which makes my day. I can get, because I don't wear the super long socks, so I can get a pair out of each 50 gram and have the cake, so, and the combo. So that was super awesome. So I don't know when I'll get to it, but I have it and I love it. So there's that. That was my acquisition. I've been pretty good. I've won a lot more than I've actually bought, but hey. And then that leaves the other crafting. So the last craft I'm going to talk about is my cross stitch. Now, I kind of forced myself to pick up the cross stitch again because of, well, I wanted to finish this project. And so, and I want this project finished before the end of the month. So, the project has significance and the month has significance. So, I wanted to get this done. So, I have been working like gangbusters. So, I am working on this project. This is an Ink Circles project. It's their awareness ribbon project. I have modified it slightly, but this is for Huntington's disease awareness. So you can see the HDs that I've put in the center ribbons. And the colors, blue is for Huntington's, and then I don't think you can see it as well, but these 4 outside ribbons have purple in them, which is for juvenile Huntington's disease. So May is Huntington's Disease Awareness Month. And Huntington's disease impacts my life a great deal. So my mother-in-law had it. My husband has it. And so it is a genetic disease. It's there is no treatment. There's no cure. The best way to explain it, the easiest way to explain it is take Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, shake them up, and multiply them by 10, and that's Huntington's disease. So it's a pretty nasty disease. It's degenerative, and it is fatal. Onset typically happens later in life unless you have the juvenile form, and then obviously. So, yeah, I decided a few years ago I wanted to make this. Oops, there's my needle. And I've been working on it every May, and I would never get too far. So, when I started, I had this month, I had the center done. I had the outline of the 4 center ribbons, and I had one of the outside ribbons done, and that was it. So, as you can see, I have done a lot. I have less than 800 stitches to go. So I am hoping to get this finished by the end of next week. That is my plan. So, and then I am going to actually pay to have this framed. Because, yeah. And what I think I'm going to do is I am going to take some silver metallic, and I am going to outline some of the ribbons. You know, what is the silver lining? I don't know. But I try and remember that I'm supposed to have hope. Yeah, we won't go there. But you are supposed to have hope. So I'm thinking, and this is, kind of a reminder and therapeutic for me. So yeah, so working on that, and that is all I have. I have not done a lot else. I've talked a lot longer than I normally talk for my podcasts. Back like the old days when I had a lot more crafting. Um, I will have more crafting over the summer. I fully intend to schedule my crafting along with my school time. So um, teachers don't get, I mean, I don't have to go into school over the summer, but I still have training and I have to get ready for next year. And I have so many ideas in my head for next year that I need to get cracking. Um, Plus, I have a new house and a whole bunch of stuff I have to do on the house. But crafting gets priority time too. So, I think that is it. So I'm going to wish everyone a great crafty day. I hope you guys are all well and good. Thank you for watching. And thank you so much for the people who comment. I know I am horrible about being on a schedule, but that is my life these days. I went from always having a schedule to schedule. What is that? That'd be nice again. I'd really like one. I really like routine, and I don't get it anymore. So, yeah. All right, you guys have a great day. I'm going to get off of here because I have to go make breakfast for my husband before I have to start getting ready for kids in the classroom. So, you guys have a great day. Bye now.